I forget what exact volume is best for this, because this is so much more entertaining to listen to than like Magic was. Yu-Gi-Oh of course has nothing unless you play like a official version, and then Magic was kept bugging out with the music and stuff, but this just has a consistent nice stream of music and audio and voices and everything. Just like the presentation of this game set such a high standard for all the other ones, which basically do seem like they, I wouldn't even say copy it, but they definitely take very strong inspiration, just with the sense of personality and the voices and stuff. And so you get like Elder Scrolls Legends and Magic the Gathering Arena. So the irony of that is everybody used to say, oh, Hearthstone copied Magic, which I assume is true, although I don't know Magic well enough to say that. But then in a certain sense, Magic copied Hearthstone in terms of Arena. So that's kind of funny. So I don't even know what some of these things are. I did just play this a few months back, but basically I only do Wild. So that's almost what I want to do, but I wanted to do an Arena just for the sake of it. The one thing I don't like that they do is, if you have an arena ongoing, they'll just reset it. They might give you a free ticket to do another, but it's like if you're really willing to wait and just leave one there, let me still play it out, even with older cards or an older kind of draft system, right? It'd be cool to see that instead of just forcing me into the new one. I also like the Wild arena, but I just like Wild everything, because it's like when you have so many cards, the whole fun of it is combining every single one that ever existed, not just a narrow field, you know. Why would you want to narrow something when you have more options? If they're not good, so be it. If they're too good, then you need to balance it or just deal with it. But that's what sometimes happens with Wild. So this Iron Juggernaut one is pretty good. But let's just do a draft. And I've never really done much of these other modes. Look in the Battlegrounds. I forget how this even works, honestly. I don't know.
Build and level up a party of mercenaries as you battle for bounties and glory.
It seems almost like this would be single player though. Imagine putting Arena like off to the side, dude. That is the classic experience in this whole thing. Solo adventures, yeah. Duels. Some people really like duels. Brawls can be kind of fun sometimes. Why not just let you do like any, I guess because they assume the player base isn't that big to justify it, but like, why not just let you do any of these at any time as much as you want? Like combine all of them, because some of them could be just really cool. Same thing with like Wild Arena. Why not just leave it as an option? You don't have to do it if you don't want, but it's there, right? Like I never understand just removing options to do stuff. Already a legendary. Is this a new? Or maybe you're guaranteed to get some. Is this from the new expansion? I can't even see the symbol behind it. Tell. Makes me want to play the Tyrantus thing, because we just saw that 5 mana 10/10 in Magic, which was like a very similar thing. Like a dinosaur, and it was like the same thing like the Druid deck. You're going to see a lot of overlap like that, but I'll give Magic the benefit of the doubt that it obviously was the one to initiate that, because they must have had cards like that before, or themes like that before, right? They just kind of simplified it. A lot of this, if you don't click, you don't get it, which is really dumb. This is like a mobile game thing, which, I mean, it is a mobile game, but still. I do love those hero cards, but it's like a double-edged sword. The concept and everything of them is really fun and cool, but they kind of ruined the meta for a while, because it's like whoever would draw or play theirs first would just automatically win, because they were just that powerful and just that game-changing. That's the only bad thing about it. Why does it make you click on it? Why not just give it to you anyway? Right? When you do a quest, just why do I have to turn it into the... Not even to an NPC, just to the game itself. It really should be like in WoW. You could like sit down at a table at any time, and it would open up in WoW, Hearthstone, and you could play it. And then like, you know what I mean? It would make it immersive, like in world. Or can you do that? Because I feel like there was something like that they talked about. And it wouldn't open like a separate client. It would be just built into it. Because that's like, oh, you can play chess in some game. I forget what it is. Some MMO. Was it like Lord of the Rings or something? So like being able to do that makes it feel so much, because that's really what the implication is. Like, this is just a fictionalized version of the universe, which theoretically could exist in the universe, because it's not taking itself super seriously. So you could poke fun at some people, you could treat them, you know, differently in their card form than you would for real. So it brings everybody together. Just like the actual game itself. I'm just impressed. Like, it's a weird interpretation, because like, is it impressive that it's still around? Like, if you told me in 2013 it would still exist in 2022, just this game in general, I'd say, oh, there's no way it'll last for 5 years, and even if it's good, which it was really good, that's good enough. But I could probably get so much dust if I really wanted, but I don't even really care. Although I should look for cards that might synergize with my theme decks that I had from way back when. I mean, this one I had pretty much as soon as the Iron Juggernaut was even available, which I'm sure nobody else really tried this idea. I like to keep flipping it back to your hand with the Brewmaster and stuff, which it isn't even necessarily that good, but I like that whole unpreventable, unmitigatable damage that you can do. Which is why maybe I should try like a flying deck in Magic, because that seems to be a theme of that. But no, it's like, is it impressive that it's still around, or is it bad that it's in the current state that it's in? Kind of both. Right, but it's kind of like, you can't have it both ways. It's like, it was great for a while. It can still be great if you choose to play like that in Wild, but most people don't. Right, even then they'll use some busted ass meta garbage. Although Wild meta is much more interesting, at least, because you can just go in so many different directions. It's hard to say like just one thing would be the best, because there's so many busted things. It's almost like the WoW classic class design, rock paper scissors, or like everybody is overpowered in their own way and underpowered in other ways. So if everybody's overpowered, nobody is, so it balances itself out. But why do we even have that? It maybe just gave it to you at some point by default. I don't think I ever kept that. Oh, they somehow just made these uncraftable. I don't get it. It's not like they give you every single hero card that ever existed, did they? Like this one. Wait, I don't even have this one. This is what I really use. Just don't accidentally disenchant something. But no, like, is it impressive that the game is still around, or is it unimpressive the current state it's in? It's really a double-edged thing. I guess I choose to look at it more positively, just like, it was an amazing game, one of my favorite games probably ever, that I've played. Like, if you look at like time played for stuff, right, like WoW between expansions, which is kind of unfair, but that's obviously like 5,000 hours plus probably. Then you look at like, this would be at least 1,000 hours plus. And so, well, maybe not, maybe 500 to 1,000. And then like Skyrim would be 1.5, so those would be like the top 3. And then if you count like the same thing with WoW, different expansions, you could count like NBA 2K with different releases, but 2 games with microtransactions that I never bought a single one ever, except for a few in this, but I do it just more for very few, and it was just out of respect for it. Like, I wanted to feel like, you know, you're supporting it somehow. But even that was so late, so if everybody was like me, none of these games would ever exist or succeed, because you have page-turning ASMR. You know, because it's like you're just cashing in on everybody else. Yeah, like, how can you really complain when it's just free? You know, but I guess the people who complain are the same type who would spend money on it and look at it as like a zero-sum min-max meta game, just try to win as much as possible sort of a thing. But it is kind of annoying, because if you were like a professional, you know, if you were competing in tournaments and stuff, you would have probably had to do that, because it's not that you couldn't get stuff for free, it's just it would make you got to focus on just, you know, actually playing with the best deck. You can't just waste weeks and weeks of time just trying to get it, or trying to, you know, craft cards and farm stuff. You just want to focus on actually being able to play and get up the ladder and this and that. So in a way, it's kind of milking those people who take it seriously. They just have to buy packs. You can't not do it. If this costs less than, is this from the current thing, or what is this? His favorite modes of transportation, van, car, board, bike. I don't get the joke with that, but I hate what they did to Malagos' voice in this too. It doesn't sound anything like, I think it's the same guy who does like Liquid Snake from Metal Gear, who does it originally. He has like that smooth, sophisticated feel, unlike this, which is more coarse and rough. I don't even think that's the one I'm thinking of, is it? I feel like there's another picture version of it. Sire Denathrius, Lifesteal Battlecry, deal 5 amongst everything, which means also it would just heal you with that effect too. It doesn't have to just attack. I don't know what I'm even doing, but we'll do an arena. That's basically all I wanted to do. So we've done our whole card game trifecta then this week. Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic, and Hearthstone, so I can fit those in here and there. Tomorrow I wouldn't mind starting an actual new hard mode series, but I still don't know really which one to do. That's the problem. I can't decide now. This is kind of a fun one. See, I'm all about stuff like that. It's just interesting, and it's not necessarily even going to help you. Arguably, it'll hurt you. Like, Renounced Darkness is so... probably one of the coolest ideas ever in any card game, just to completely mix up the pool. And sometimes it can be pretty good because of the reduced cost, but generally it's not reliable. And you can also get like way more than 3 of a card, right? So sometimes I've gotten like 5 or 6 of the same card, which you can't normally even ever have. Right, it doesn't respect the deck limit. What is this last thing? Costs 1 less for each. It's only a 5/5 though. Maybe be good in an arena. But yeah, there's so much bloat and power creep and stuff, which is natural. It's to be expected. I feel like they release expansions maybe even a bit too much. It's hard to say too, like the free-to-play thing. Like, does that make it easier for it to stay around or harder? You would think it would make it harder because it requires a constant flow of not just people playing it, but of people actually buying the packs and paying money for stuff, which they won't do if they're disinterested. It's not that people still won't play it, it's just that why would you spend money if you just don't give a shit? Like me. I'm just playing Wild, so I wouldn't spend money anyway, even if I was trying to do whatever constructed in the ladder. I would just, you know, free to play like I do. But even then, I don't even want to do that much either. I just want to do Wild and Arena and stuff. So let's just do a draft. This is just the coolest mode in anything that you can do. But I don't like that it does that. Just let me play it out. Like, I can only do it once. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, it'll be super busted and you get to mix up the pool a bit and actually have some variety and possibly get 12-0 because it's so busted, but it's really not. Like, really. It wasn't unfair before, so when I drafted it, so why would it be now? Let's just do this because I often don't play as this, so I did have one really cool theme deck with it, but I forget what it was now. Hey Maddie, how's it going? So Arcane I mean, obviously we'll pick the new cards just to see them. The problem is I might not even know what the new cards are because, I mean, these two definitely are not. Add a random 1-cost minion. This could be. I guess I can't see the picture too well to be able to see what's... None of these are new. So let's just pick the most interesting. This could be pretty bad. I mean, you shouldn't rely on stuff that requires a buff or some sacrifice mechanic. Deal 1 damage. I mean, this is just a solid pick. It's amazing that this stat line could still be... See, the lifesteal isn't going to be good, though. Pretty good. So let's look at Wand Maker. Add a 1-cost... Oh, a lot of 1-cost synergy already. Summon a 0/3 free agent with... Wait. Oh, this is really good, because on curve, if you think about it, if you already have a 3... Well... If you already have a 3/2 out there, and then you do this, it's meaningless. This is actually quite good. But you don't want to do it on turn 1 because then they could possibly build up their own stuff. Is this from the new thing? It's not. I don't seem to recall really ever seeing this card though. I guess I didn't play that much in the recent years, but that's a pretty old expansion, I thought. Draw an outcast card from your deck. I don't even know what the subject matter of this one is. It's like Castle Nathria, which I don't, you know, I haven't played WoW since Wrath of the Lich King, so I wouldn't know even what that is. Draw an outcast card from your deck. I don't know if this is a new or... It should say it too, like when you mouse over, like what is this from? Because I can't see the stupid picture. that could be new. This one I really don't know what it is. I'm just so many expansions behind. It'll be new to me, but it's not new to the game. Is this a symbol for the new one? Sin-fueled golem. You would think there would be a lot of them because they tend to try to force that on you. Are these even the same symbols? Well, I don't know what either one of these are. Sin Runner. Destroy a random enemy minion. That is really good. I mean, that's almost like the Sylvanas effect. Except instead of taking over, like, it just guarantees you're going to kill probably 2 things. Because they have to trade into it, and then whatever's left is going to die too. Gain stats equal to the attack of the minions who infuse this. Upgrades in hand after X friendly minions die. Stats equal to the attack of... Oh, wow. That could be cool. Because you are going to be sacking a lot of stuff. This goes way back. One of my favorite cards. It's such a great finisher because it's tanky enough. It's like that 7-4, right, for the stealth. I forget what it's called. But you don't need a 7-4. You get a 5-5. Like, think about if you put this in stealth, they can't do anything about it. Right? Just that beefy, tanky 5 HP. You'll make a whole stealth deck, but there weren't really enough cards that had it. So again, just like unmitigatable damage. You can think about this like flying in Magic, right? Stealth and flying. You can't target or block them until, well, in this case, until they attack once. In that case, you just can't do it ever unless you have reach or flying yourself. Deal 1 damage to a minion and its neighbors. I mean, this is okay. It's just, I cannot tell whether it's new or not, though. Well, since I don't recognize it, I guess I'll do it. Draw an outcast card. This one we've seen. Relic Vault. I'm assuming this is the new symbol. The next relic you play, but do I even have? Well, let's hope I get one because it's a new card, so we have to take it. That's a hard mode challenge in itself. No matter how bad it is, you always have to take it. We've seen these, or at least this is from a previous expansion. Coordinated Strike. I seem to recall this effect, but I don't know what this card is. This is almost like the Grim Patron, but not as good even. I guess this will all synergize with these weenies into the 7 cost thing every time. Wait, but how many? Oh, it's only 3 things though. Give your hero attack, reborn, give all... Okay, so none of these seem to be new. All minions, +1/+1. Probably don't really care about that. I don't know what that symbol is either. This looks like a new one. We've seen that. Add 2 random spells from your class to your hand. I do like the very tanky nature of it. A 6 mana 4/9 is very good. Dredger's Staff. Give your minions in hand +1 health. Pretty bad. But I guess I have to take it. Give 4 to each hero. Yeah, both of those are kind of mediocre anyway. You have a choice between these 2, I guess. For some reason, the symbols look a little different, but it must be the same thing. Rush. Death Rattle, summon an 8/8 Gravewing with Rush. That's incredible. The next secret you play costs 0. 2 mana, 2/3. Oh, I don't even have secrets. Or do you? Is it even... I can't even remember. I feel like you don't. That shows you how little I've really played or cared about Demon Hunters. I think you do have something like that. Maybe it just functions differently, though. This is kind of bad. I mean, weapons in general can be good in Arena, but... Add a random 1 cost to your hand. I kind of want to emphasize this weenie theme. Just a lot of little things. This would synergize with that pretty well. Oh, wow, look at this banana overlap. Add 2 bananas to your hand, add 2 bananas to... What are the chances of getting these 2 together like that? Or you could do this for more 1/1s, but I doubt I'll have enough spells to... This is such a synergistic pick, because any of the bananas would synergize with her too, but you can't get them both. You might get another chance. And speaking of breaking the rule of only having the few card limit, right, of the same card, you can also do it in Arena. Right, where you just keep getting the same card over and over. Those can be the really fun dynamics that you can do. I would take like, I did that before. I took like 5 ice lances just because I wanted to have, not because they were good together. Like, you don't really need that many. Although that was a good, maybe you could do a crazy combo. But just for the sake of doing something you can't normally do. I guess this one is fine. Deal 1 damage, lifesteal, and rush, death rattle, draw minion, get. Oh, that's pretty damn good. Because you're gonna just trade it for like a 6/6 or something anyway. So why does it matter if it only has 3 health? Shuffle your hand into your deck. This is kind of like the card destruction from Yu-Gi-Oh! Except you don't draw the same number of cards you have. You just draw 4. Your opponent does the same. What? But that's not a bonus, that's a minus. A bonus if played as the left or right. So you just don't play it as the left or right. Is this a new one though? I can't tell if this is new or not. I can't even see a symbol on there. I'm going to assume this is new because this is really good and really important. I need like a magnifier or something. Like, I don't know. Hold on. I honestly can't even see a symbol in there. Why do they make it so hard to tell? I act like I'm an expert on the game or something. Well, whatever that symbol is, it's clearly not new. But I am going to do it just because it's that good. And you're going to need card draw. So all you have to do is not play it when it's the left or rightmost card. Because you don't want to give your opponent that. Although... oh, it could be good because, again, like card destruction, it would force them to shuffle their hand into their deck too. So if you feel like their hand is good or they have more than 4 cards. What is a relic? I don't even know what that is. It won't even tell me the phrase. Like if you go over it, I guess I'll do it, but I don't think... I guess the vault would count as a relic itself. That's going to be pretty horrible to have 2 cards that I don't even know what the mechanic behind them is. None of these are new. Deal 1 damage to a minion. Return this to your hand. I mean, I guess I'll stick on the theme of a lot of these weenies again. Taunt if you control a secret, summon a copy of this, whatever. It looks like it must be new. Some of these symbols are clear. I think it's the gold that really screws it up. More 1/1s. And so give all minions in your hand, blah, blah, blah. We've seen all these before. Discovering a spell could be pretty good. We get a legendary. Is one of these going to be new? I don't know what either of these are. Headmaster oh, have we seen this? If the spell destroys any minions, summon them. And this is, for each soul fragment in your deck, gain a +3/+3. Well, we don't have any soul fragment stuff, so we'll just do this. So what spells do we have that could even kill anything? We have very few. And nothing that'd be really that strong anyway. Like it's gonna kill... oh, I guess you could get it to 1 HP and then do it. Taunt, corrupt, what does that mean? Play after you play a card that costs more. Obviously, that is like a card that is built specifically for Arena because it's gonna hang around in your hand for a bit. So just you get a free 6/6 is amazing. 0 mana 6/6. Like, what kind of a mechanic is that? That's such a dumb thing. What, you just play something that costs 7 or more at some point and you just get a free 6/6? Like, what is the commitment with that? Nothing. As if you weren't gonna play a card that costs 7 or more anyway. It just prevents you from playing this right away. But not really, because a 7 mana 6/6 isn't even arguably that bad in theory. Right? The whole design philosophy of this numerically was a 1 mana 1/1, a 2 mana 2/2, a 3 mana 3/3. Right? That's kind of how it was originally intended. Like, that would be good. So even a 2 mana 3/2 is considered like, okay, a little bit strong at the outset, right? Because a 2 mana should be a 2/2. Everything should be even. So even a 7 mana 7/7, like Dr. Boom, but then they start adding all these crazy effects. So none of that stuff is new, at least. Oh, wow. We could play one of them and then get the free one from it, even. I guess I don't have that many high-cost cards, though. Give your hero plus... Because it would have to be over 7, right? Oh, shit. Even as good as I'm saying it is, that wouldn't even work. Give your hero plus 4 and immune. We've seen this. I don't know if this is from the new thing. I can't tell. I guess I'll just do it anyway. 9 cost. I mean, speaking of needing stuff that costs more. Deal 4 damage to each hero. I can't tell what expansion these are from. That couldn't be the same symbol, right? Let's actually look at the symbol. No, it's not. That's not either. This one definitely is. Destroy. That's actually really good. None of these are new. This was the whole Shutterwalk annoying thing. That they just keep cycling it over. Why was it this one specifically that they used? Couldn't there have been something else better? I guess because it doesn't target, it just automatically does it to the enemy hero. Right, because if it's a target effect, then it could be completely random. Discover a 4 cost, that's not great, but it is what it is. I'll just do this for the sake of it. And this is new, so we have to take it. Destroy all cards in both players' decks that didn't start there. Oh, this is a pretty... This should almost be a legendary, because that's just such a game-changing effect. Especially for, like, rogues or priests or something, who always steal cards or, you know, mind vision and stuff. That is a meta-changing card. Wow. In fact... That's kind of retarded because it ruins like my Iron Juggernaut and stuff. Then you wouldn't even be able to do that if everybody's just using this, because it would remove all the bombs that I put in their deck. That's like too powerful of an effect. It just ruins so many things. That would ruin, like, I don't even know. Like Rin and anything that cycles cards to get to a certain point. Summon 2 bats, that's not new. This is new. Discover secret from another class that you could destroy with your own. It actually is going to end up hurting me because I'm going to want to play it as a 5/5, but this is going to screw me over. Deal 1 damage to a random minion, improve your future relics, which I don't even seem to have. Draw a card, reborn. None of these are good. I was going for like a very early game rush, kind of just a lot of weenies, a lot of 1/1 type stuff, but I don't know what the relic mechanic is. So I have 2 relics, so maybe they'll which are the same one, so maybe they'll synergize with each other. I'm assuming that's what that shape around the card means, is that it's a relic.
Illidan versus Khadgar.
Knowledge is power. This ends now.
I should mess with my card backs and stuff too. Claw machine. Okay, you don't want any of this. Just go for simple value proposition. I always loved Arena, but sometimes it's just too stale. That's why you have to do things that aren't optimal. It's not that hard to win. Well, it wasn't that hard to win 7 consistently and just get like an endless loop free to play of being able to play Arena and get infinite cards. But what happened with that is it gets super boring because you're just taking for value, so it's all about curve, and it's just all about add a random 1 cost to your hand. Minions in your hand. There's not enough to really bother with that. But yeah, it gets too stale. So you want to, just like in Constructed too, it's the same meta decks over and over where everybody's playing basically the same 2 or 3 or 4 things at the top. So it just comes down to random chance or a slight minute play that you might make that is slightly better than them, or a slight mistake they might make, but generally it's just very repetitive. Whether you win or lose, you're going to see the same exact things play out every time. So in this case, you want to do theme decks just as much as I do in Wild, just for the fun of it. I'd rather win with something interesting, and I'd rather lose with something boring, like, or I'd rather lose than play something boring. I guess, I don't know, this seems like a worthless effect to really hang on to. That's the idea that... oh, it should still say what your opponent's name is, I guess, but it doesn't matter. I do like that it hides yours, just for whatever reason. People can still stream snipe me, of course, but... or no, actually they couldn't. Unless they know... unless they're watching me in the first place, right? Like in chess, if people do that. Because I have a link to my stream on the... you get to draw a card on the my chess page, which is, just shows you how confident I am in my abilities. Stream snipe me to your heart's content. Oh, I guess that was a redundant +1 attack there. Okay, so let's just play simple on curve. It's just going to be that a lot of this stuff doesn't matter. Right, you could combo this with this and get like a couple little weenies out of it. It's not a bad legendary even for arena, it's just like very situational. It'd be good for like a different class maybe that you could destroy something bigger. But then it would cost too much mana too. Like if a rogue puts it down and then assassinates something crazy on turn 10, right, 5 and 5, maybe then. Or you put it down and you fireball. It's really more like a turn 9 or 10 play. I would just find that so much more interesting. Give me like a wild arena, and they did it for a brief period, and people maybe didn't like it. But don't replace regular arena with it like they did probably. And they did like a Halloween one where you get to like change class for the cards or something. Like mix and match one class's cards with another hero power or something like that. Deal 1 damage to a minion. So I could do this and I could kill it with my... I'm probably just going to do an AoE and screw me over. Nothing really that interesting actually came out of this draft, I don't think. Even with a legendary, it just feels kind of basic. No crazy theme, and this is easy to just punish me for. You get another 1-cost thing though. Summon 2 volatile skeletons, gain 4 armor. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion. Thankfully, we have a lot of those. We can just run... if the spell kills stuff, so it's not worth it to do it on those. There's only a 2/3. But it infuses 3 times over. So why don't we see what we get out of these first. Always wait for the effect to resolve before you do the next attack is like the old fundamental. Because who knows what you're going to get. Maybe I don't like my own ability to attack here. Let's see what this gives us. I'm not doing it because it might be good. I'm doing it because it might be fun. So this is probably not going to be good. Life tap actually... Life tap actually could be pretty good as we go further into this. Give your hero +4 and immune. We can just kill this. Oh, I should have done that after I traded into it. That was an objective misplay, right? This is the best feature in this whole game too, is the backlog of moves. Even though you can't go back farther at will, you should be able to see the whole thing at any time, like in chess, right? That's what games that take themselves seriously like you do. But like Magic doesn't seem to have that in the arena, and I think most card games actually don't have it. You could do this, and no, I can't waste time with that. You got some good things coming up. You should just do... wait. I should just hold my thing, but... let's do 4. See if I had my other hero power, that could have been more valuable. That could be a very bad play, because he's just going to let it hide behind there. But I do have a rush coming, but I don't want to waste it on that. So if something gets down to 1 HP, that would be good to use. I could like combo this and summon it back. It's also a lifesteal, so maybe he summons a bunch of weenies. Exact same card I have. He's got a Wind Fury that's just gonna tear through me. Oh, but he gives me that 1 HP that... oh, shit. If a spell destroys a minion, summon it. But it's still not gonna... but it'll give me it'll give me a charge.
Me now.
Okay, that was pretty good, honestly. It took just till the right time to do it. I don't remember this card either, but I think I saw it. I just don't know what expansion it belongs to.
You fight me.
So this is like kel'thuzad before he became but still when he was evil, but before he became actually the undead kel'thuzad. Like in that cutscene with Nax, it doesn't really make any lore sense, where he's like afraid of the undead, but by that point, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. By that point, he would have already had to be undead because he, even in life, he was already evil. He was trying to poison the grains and stuff. So that there's a cutscene for Nax that makes no sense lore-wise. Deal 1 damage. Draw a minion and give it 3/3. This just is good value, but it's not going to do anything for me. What does this do? If you control 3 of these at the end of the turn, deal 5. That's a lot of effort to go through. Give it +3/+3. Too bad I can't actually summon it. Deal 1 damage just for the heck of it. This is never going to come into play. Or unless it's by some extreme RNG factor. The one thing I discussed with people a long time ago with this game too was like the sort of internal RNG for a card game. The idea that, you know, a card game is inherently random in the sense that you're always drawing cards and what order you draw them in. But sometimes the worst thing is what this game does, even though sometimes it can be fun. It's just like cards that generate other random cards or have, you know, random effects, hit something randomly. That makes it just twice as bad as far as the RNG. You're inserting RNG into a game that's already based around it in a way that you really don't have to do. This don't be repentance, which it wasn't. I just kind of felt like doing these this week, but I'll try to get back to my real schedule now. This I should do like the same way that I do chess, right? Like at the end of a stream just to kind of wind down and relax after doing something actually strenuous or immersive. Yeah, I can't think of what I want to do for my... Okay, 5 damage. This is just such a nice sticky minion. 4/5. On your turn, your hero has +2 attack and Wind Fury. You definitely have to get rid of that, but I don't think I can. Fuck. And Life Tap is gonna do me in because I'm putting myself in lethal range pretty soon. That's so ridiculous. Fuck. The next relic you play cast twice, which is going to allow the other one of these to cast twice, which would allow the next relic I play after that I don't have to cast 4 times, maybe. Or maybe not, because it would override itself.
I grow impatient.
Or it would just create an endless loop. Because the next relic you play casts twice. So if you play the same thing, it'll cast twice. But then the act of playing it twice will cause those 2 times of playing it to also cast twice. Which means that's actually an endless loop we discovered. Right? If you play the same thing.
I grow impatient.
That would actually break the game if you did it correctly according to the text. I think I'm just dead. Oh, this could be good. Do this. Oh, shit. Clutch Argus. Not quite as good as the Molten Giant play, but... that was one of the most ridiculous combos ever. Where you let yourself get super low on health, but then you drop 2 iron... what is it called? Lava golems or whatever. Iron golems. And then you... Molten Giant, I think, actually. And you... oh yeah, it became a 3/3. Instead of like a... well, for a while it was a 2/3. I can't remember what its original stat actually was, but this doesn't seem to be correct. Discover a secret. Well, it better be something that can deal with this, otherwise I'm just dead. After your opponent plays a minion, stuff it into a 0/4 sack. You can summon some snakes, but again, I'm just gonna die. I do love that idea.
Job's done. Not possible.
Location can't be used for another 2 turns. Oh, it's like a limited effect. But even that doesn't make any sense. Like, maybe they don't count as relics. They're locations. So maybe my theory is wrong. Well, he didn't do lethal when he could. Wait, he still has it. He still has it. Or no. Well, he has to have it out of his hand. Which I'm sure he does. Restore 4, deal 4. All those corrupt cards like the old gods theme. One of my favorite aspects about the Warcraft universe, but they did kind of beat it like a dead horse and overdo it. It was nice during the first 3 expansions because it's like something that's ominous and in the background, just like you're not really sure. But then they start to explain too many things. Like every time a character does something bad, oh, it's because the old gods made them do it, or you know, there's some other corruption like that. Like Garrosh didn't have to get corrupted that way. He could just be power hungry and a jerk. Like people can be, or characters can be that way. It doesn't always have to be some Deus Ex whatever the fuck. And also on the flip side, it's like, you know, not every good guy has to be a goody two shoes, and not every bad guy has to be sympathetic or completely one-dimensionally evil either. You can do a bit more nuance there. Like Malygos was definitely not one-dimensional at all. Very justifiable and understandable motivation. It actually buffs it. So he didn't have a choice. I guess I will do this just because it seems like a waste to trade and then give him the taunt. You may as well let him do it and then maybe I can react to it. Problem is the bananas are good. Oh no, he doesn't get them. That's why this is good. Otherwise, if he buffed that, that would actually be very bad. The problem is this won't even be good enough to kill it. I guess with my hero power. Yeah, that'd be amazing if I had that, because you could make it a 2-3 for free. Well, it would still cost you 2, so it's not that good. Deal 1. It's too bad. No, I guess I don't need to worry about that because I can just do this. So I wouldn't have been able to kill it no matter what. It's just a question of these two just trade into each other. That is a pretty sick portrait though. You can hit either one and then... But yeah, I hate that in storytelling in general. It's like, it was a complex character with some real nuance and motivation. Maybe they had some bad intention. Maybe they had a tough time that made them, you know, very hateful and bitter. But no, oh, they only did it because of insert plot device here. Or, oh no, they really were trying to do something good. It just looked like they were doing something bad on the surface and they couldn't tell anybody. But like Hohenheim from Brotherhood. In the first series, he was like having an affair with Dante, so he was just as culpable as her. So that made it more complex. But in Brotherhood, he's like, oh, everything I'm doing is just good, and I'm just a goody two-shoes. They kind of did that with Roy, too. 3 Illidari with Rush. Taunt. If you control a secret, summon a copy of this. Actually, we did have a chance to do that in the other game, but... It's a 2-5. You may as well just do that, because you have a little bit of extra mana, and I don't know when else that's going to come into play. So a 4-7 Taunt is not bad. I could just play the 7 mana 6-6. It wouldn't be a bad proposition. It's just the... Well, I couldn't do it now. But I could just kill it. Like, it is totally worth it to do that. Although you could have done it... Well, that's fine. Discover a secret... Oh, wow. That would have been amazing, actually. Well, it would have to be from another class if my class doesn't have secrets. But I guess they put that in there just to make sure. After a minion attacks your hero, summon a copy with stealth. After your opponent plays a spell. I feel like this could be good right now, just because he's probably going to cast a spell to try to deal with what I have on the board, maybe. Maybe he'll use a weapon, or he'll just do that. 3/9 poisonous. I do like that theme too, but there aren't too many poisonous cards, really. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we could just get rid of it with that. The problem is, then we'd be overcommitting. It's almost like you should just ignore it and just let him do what he's gonna do. Because even if he hits that 8-8, which he can't even do yet, right? Like, he's gonna kill himself, basically. You could throw these in there, but then your board's gonna be empty. And I would have had to play this too, so I wouldn't have even been able to put that down. You just gotta think about the tempo, right? It's a better tempo play to just wait. It's only bad if he could, like, destroy this with... Oh, my fucking God. If he could destroy it with Cleave. No, that actually validates my play even further. Like, if he summoned a taunt in front of it, it would have just been a waste of time to overcommit into killing it. 3/1/1 Illidari with Rush plus this could be very good to go. So just mathematically speaking, it might be very hard to avoid. 6, 7, 8, 9... Yeah, this is going to be gone no matter what, so you may as well just do it. It honestly doesn't even matter. It's possible there was a better way to play that, but that looked fine to me. So how was I supposed to know he's going to have 2 of those? Or did he have some card that duplicated it or something? So this infusion thing seems to be the new mechanic. Priest of the Deceased, good name. I also love this sort of this effect that doesn't even really have a name, just can't be targeted by spells or hero powers, like elusive, I think is what they came up with eventually. But Rush, and when it dies you summon something with Rush too. So, and it also allows this to be played for free. So let's overcommit and hope he doesn't have Brawl, basically, is the way to go. So it has 1 HP, and even if he kills it, I get another 8-8. I guess it doesn't matter that it has Rush, but it might matter if he doesn't kill it, right? Because then we can sack into something and then still kill something else. Such a crazy card. Yeah, we just have so much. I'm not even looking for lethal, but we actually do have it. Alright, 14, 18, 19, 20. Or no, we don't have it. Forget about his armor. Okay, he just gives up. That was pretty solid. I mean, that 10 mana minion is insanely satisfying. Isn't that nuts? Like, 10 mana, 8/8 with charge, and when it dies, it summons another 8/8 with charge. Like, what the fuck? That also summons another 8/8 with charge. No, but that would be too much. It would have to be a legendary then, and then it would actually be possible.
Illidan versus Khadgar.
Alright.
Knowledge is power. This ends now.
I guess they're not going to add another class ever, right? Like, if you control a secret. Well, these two do synergize, so it's actually worth doing that. Like, I thought they might add monks, or they might add something else. Or they should even add a class that doesn't exist in WoW, but that theoretically could. Like, I don't know. That'd be kind of a fun... But then people wouldn't like it, because everything else is a real class. So you could just do monk. Nothing wrong with that. Add a random 1 cost. This is bad to do unless you already have something on the board. Would be my feeling. That can get rid of it. So once I keep thinking that's a battle cry, it's a death rattle, so when it dies I get another random thing.
Time for the finishing touch.
At the end of your turn, if you dealt 3 or more damage to the hero, draw a card. You can just keep playing on curve. Discover a secret. What would be good now? At the end of your opponent's turn, add copies of the cards they played to your hand. That could be okay, maybe. But then again, that's the worst thing I could have gotten, because you almost want to get something that wouldn't have triggered, because if you... Oh, shit. You wanted to synergize with this, even though you don't because you're a demon hunter, but still. How many elephants in Hearthstone? There are at least a few of them. The Alex from the Draenei. Probably like 3 or 4. We could do add a random. So about the same number as Chaturanga. Which I haven't played in a while, actually. I probably should. So I almost want to do those in the same turn, but now we're going backwards on curve. I could just do this and then kill it. Right, that would be acceptable. Oh, I keep thinking everything's a battle cry. The end of your turn, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares about that. Fine, just do more weenie stuff. Random card that generates a random card that generates a random card. Look at that sequence, right? Because obviously I don't have that. That's the thing that if you don't like the game... Oh, shit, I forgot to attack. That 1 damage is going to be a miss lethal later. But yeah, that would be the one thing, even as someone who's loved the game, I don't like how much they bury themselves in the random aspect. So this is good. Right, objectively, don't get too excited though. I do that in chess too, like where I just... It's good and I know it's good, so then I do it right away. So you could do maybe this, and then you could do a 2, you could do a 2, you could do a 1. Now you can kill whatever he wants to kill, but it's not that big of a deal. And if we could coin into the secret into this, and so we'd have two 5s with taunt, which is not even that good, but it's a good synergy, I guess. What does this actually do? I forget. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, summon a 2/2 skeleton with taunt, which really discourages the coin combo I just talked about, because you would get 2 of them. But you can't play scared either. Just, See, now I'm too enamored with the idea of that stupid... Let him have it then, who cares? He'll get 2 skeletons, but I'll get 2 of these, but it's not a good... It's not very cost effective. They'll chip away on here. Like, there's no way you could argue that was really worth it, but I just wanted that synergistic combo that we worked so hard to get, that you shouldn't even be able to get with this. I should do like a chart on like what classes have been the best in Arena over time. Like, summon 2 skeletons. Oh man, you're just burying me in the skeletons. We could combine both of these to like kill that maybe, but after an enemy minion attacks your hero, summon a copy of it and attack the enemy hero. I'll just do this because I don't know what else to do. So kill both of these. It's not actually that bad, but now it doesn't count if the spell gives you attack, right? And then you destroy it with that. It would have to just do damage, which actually I don't have anything that does that. So it's a great effect, but this deck just doesn't support it well enough. Mage is the best arena class at the minute because of the random card generation. What if I get Renounced Darkness as a Warlock? That was, I actually had some pretty sick arena runs with that, because it's pretty perfect. You get the reduced cost. The only problem is you run dry on cards and you can't life tab because you obviously changed to a different class. But that was pretty fun too. It's like you take a legendary into the draft, not because it's good. Oftentimes they aren't good or they require some kind of support, but just because they're fun or interesting. It just seems stupid to turn it down, but that objectively might be best. So you get a 7 mana 9/9. And my health is looking actually okay. So I can't kill it because if I play this and this, obviously he summons a skeleton to block, so we're just screwed. So if he has like a polymorph or something, I'm kind of screwed. I think I just lose because I won't be able to match this tempo back. This needs to kill here, otherwise I lose the game. That's it. Fuck. Well, that's arguably okay, but the problem is I still can't do anything about it. I hate how contradictory those plays are. Like, you do this to create damage enough to kill it, but you can't. In fact, you can't kill anything. Ah, fuck. You could summon a taunt. You could do 3 damage to him. I think the taunt would be alright. And you could plan ahead and say, oh, I want to get this under a certain threshold, but I guess I'll just leave it. So if he kills his own 6/5, it would kill something of mine, but he would have to get through the taunt first, and this ogre has been the MVP right now. Just so good. That almost would fit with my deck of the anti-spell thing, but it's not quite good enough. Holy shit. 3/12 taunt for what? For 7. Your non-red herring minions have stealth. What, just permanently? Well, why would it even matter now? Like, it goes away as soon as you... Huh. It should go away as soon as that dies, right? But it won't matter because I don't have anything. I just lose. That's how simple Arena can be. If it looks like you're losing, you probably lose. So it should go away, and then we can block it with a taunt. And you can summon a Murloc. So we still can't deal with the stupid ogre. So that's why I'm still not playing spells. There's no way, dude. You can just do 7. That'll kill probably the 9/5. Oh no, pretty good luck there. So he's not gonna go for face and get me to 1. Okay. Fuck you. You could have just done it totally differently. You could have hit my face and it would have been the same thing, guaranteed. Just doing it with style, I guess. Are we gonna... At least we didn't go 0 and 3, but goddamn. That's what you get for picking the new cards, which is the whole fun of doing this. If I wanted to play with the old cards, just give me Wild Arena then, like I asked for. Come on, let's not go 1 and 3 though.
Raw power is no substitute for true strength.
I will prove myself to you.
So Reborn, 3 mana, 3/2. Lifesteal is good. This is not good right now. Even this is questionable, especially when you don't have the coin. I tend to be more lenient with keeping stuff if I do have it. Like you can coin into a 4 cost on turn 3, and it might be worth it sometimes. So a lot of those resurrection cards can be crazy here for the priest. Just anything that cycles cards back is incredible value in Arena, right? You trade a 5/5 for a 5/5, then you pay like 2 mana to resurrect it or something, and then you can summon another 5/5. So then you just lose on tempo right there. Any play like that, or like something that just copies one of your minions. Although other classes have stuff like that too. There's still so many fun decks that I want to play a lot. It's not cool how people... So you wouldn't want to play it now, because then it works like card destruction. You just want I want card of demise, not card of destruction. Like, that's such a bogus thing too. He always says, you get to draw 5 cards, but in 5 turns I have to discard my entire hand. Yeah, it's not going to last 5 fucking turns. He always kills them that same turn. Oh, I thought I would have enough to do both. So it's not really that good. The Reborn is completely canceled out. Locust with Rush, which didn't actually do anything. But yeah, like whenever you do something like that, you're not doing it to play the game out. You're not going to play Card of Demise on your first turn or in your first few turns. You're going to do it to do like an OTK or a finisher or something like that. I could do this, but it seems kind of not necessary. So now I can play this anytime I want to just draw 4 cards. And the point is, you want to do it when you run out of cards. So it's like, oh, shuffle. Well, you could have 1 card here just to make sure you don't get the negative effect of it. But it's like, you know, you have 1 card, so you shuffle the 1 card back and then you draw 3. So it's just a net positive. You wouldn't want to play it now, because even though I'd get my cards back, it's just like, what's the point? Let me compare, because I keep changing my seating position. I got to keep checking on my mic volume. It seems to sound okay now, but It was such a nightmare getting a chair and table sort of set up. Because I left from one place to another and I didn't take the stuff with me. So, you know, I just have a very specific thing that I'm used to, and you don't realize how much it matters. Alright, so you look at it this way and you say to yourself, you don't have a secret, so that's not going to matter. You could do this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, why not just play it like that? It'd be probably worth it. The problem is it's not a very good mana curve play because you didn't get anything out of it on the board. I feel like I'm always a turn behind. It doesn't matter as much against the priest sometimes, but because they will give you chances. But against like a mage or somebody who can deal high damage, that means they'll get their lethal turn before you and you're just fucked then. Am I really gonna go 1 and 3, dude? That would be a good excuse to just play wild and not play arena. It's not even like I care. Like, I don't need cards, I don't need gold, I'm just doing it for fun. But you would think arena can just be weird like that, though. It's just totally RNG based. Like, it's not because I'm making a mistake somewhere. Like, I'm just doing whatever you can do, which oftentimes you can only do like one thing. Just play on curve. Now the good thing here is we could cycle our cards back, but it's like this you could just do. This is probably pretty good here. So I'm gonna 2-1 that. Yeah, just play on curve, and if he kills this, it'll kill something of his. He only has the 1-2 as a weenie to soak it up. So you could theoretically look at it and say, if he summons something big, it's bad, so you'd want to kill this first. Or he'll deliberately summon something small, just to try to tank the effect. So can you really not use Sylvanas like in any format anymore? It feels like that's somehow the case. Like, Wild should be every card ever. That's the whole point of Wild. It's wild how you can't play so many cards, classic cards. I don't know why that concept is so hard to understand in a card game. The whole fun of it and the whole point of it is how many cards there are. Okay, I can't complain when he has that much stuff on the board. The more you cut the deck stuff short, the worse it is. So we could only hit for 3, so it wouldn't do me any good. We have that 7 mana 11/11, but if he just has like a Shadow or Death or something again, which is unlikely to be the case. Okay. I mean, look, dude. What do you want me to do? Do I not play that? Oh, I should have accounted for the second Shadow over Death, so I shouldn't have done that. And just sat there and fucking died anyway. Like, you have to do it. There's no nuance to that play. Like, you just have to do it, and then you just lose the game. If you don't do it, you still lose. Amazing. So, what the fuck is this? Why is this so lopsided? I didn't even, I guess I was drafting a bit foolishly. Just to like see the new cards or something. I don't even know what to do with this. I'm just dead. Against the priest, I'm gonna get rushed down, aggro down. At least I didn't go 0-3. That's the only positive thing I can say about it. I guess I'll do a little bit of wild then. Or maybe I'll make some epic comeback and make it to 12 wins after this. How many 12-win arenas did I really have? Not really that many. Over the course of playing it so much. I think my average was around 6. But that includes a lot of my clown behavior, like picking stuff just because it's cool or fun. Right, I did have like a document where I kept track. That's pretty decent to average. I mean, I could have probably done 7 if I, you know, just did it for pure min-max value. That was over the course of a couple of years too, but it's just not fun to play like that. Like, oh, just pick the less interesting card every single time just because you're gonna have better value with it. Like, come on, dude. If the spell destroys any... Okay. There is no spell. What is this shit, dude? 3/1/1s. You take away 3 damage, so he'd do 4, 5, 6, 7. It seems mathematically oh no, it's not. I can do...
I grow impatient.
I can do the immune thing. What is this? Discover a legendary minion. If your opponent's guesses, they get a copy. I probably should have done that first, eh? Oh. I don't know whether I have the...
Vengeance is mine. Time grows short.
Imagine if I had that effect. I wouldn't even know if I had it or not now. Fuck, it should always tell you, like it won't light up yellow because I can't play. Dude. What? You're getting Reno Jackson. I'm pretty sure I have at least 1 duplicate still. Oh yeah, I even have like the rune thing. 2 of those stupid relic, rune, whatever things that don't do anything. Unless they don't count as a card for some reason. Deal 19 damage. What? I can't even read it. Amongst enemies. Fuck. Why is everything acting like Cthulhu now? I lost 2 games in a row like that. Just deal 10 damage to all enemies. Deal 19 damage. Like, what do you want me to do about that? That was kind of just weird. Huh. Well, we did the 1 arena I wanted to do. Didn't take as long as I thought. Let's just do some random stuff here. Now, I should look through and see if there's not stuff, because I could have as much dust as I want. I have like a million cards that I can just disenchant. I could probably have just a full collection of every card, well, up till, you know, when I played. Every card in the game if I didn't disenchant so much. But I just go on a roll and say, oh, fuck it, I'll just disenchant this entire class because I never play as it. And then eventually I'll want to play as it again. So let's see what this is. We just want to flip back. Okay, you want to keep Dr. Boom. That's going to be a big deal. It's hard to know whether you want to keep these, really. Actually, you don't. The only rule I keep is you want to mulligan for Dr. Boom and the Iron Juggernaut. So anything that isn't one of those 2, you just have to go for it. Because you're going to need those 2. Your deck size starting health is 40.
The pleasure is mine.
But the 40 wouldn't even matter. Because... well, that is kind of a cool concept, but... what's the cost of it? Nothing. You just play the card and you just get 40 health. What a cool idea. Like, what... the thing about deck size is... doesn't even make sense because... it doesn't matter if the deck size is 40 because you wouldn't have 40 cards. So... you still only have 30 and anything you add would go into the deck anyway. So I don't get what that means. Your deck size... doesn't... because, like... I don't know how to explain it. Like, you start with 30 cards, so, oh, now my deck size is 40. But I don't have any other cards, so I still have 30. And even if I generate cards into my deck, you could do that anyway. Does that mean you can't go over 40? Which, again, wouldn't matter, because how often is that going to happen? So you can play on curve a little bit, do the shredders, a nice little N'Zoth combo if you get all the shredders killed. Even the legendary one. That's kind of not part of the intrinsic theme of trying to blow up your opponent, but it does synergize well with the mechs. Because think about a turn 10 N'Zoth with everything that has rush. That's almost like a board clear thing where you get stuff back, right? You would get, imagine that you get a 4-3 with rush, 4-3 with rush, 6-4 with rush, 6-4, and then you get the legendary with rush, 5-9. Everything has rush just because it's a mech. So that's a really, really cool thing. And so you got a 3-3. I think Rogue is one of my least played classes over the course of the whole of Hearthstone. Maybe early on a little bit, but because it was one of the busted decks for a while, but Miracle Rogue and whatnot. But if I think about like what are my most and least played classes, Warlock is definitely up there. Right, just because of Molten Giant stuff, and then obviously Renounced Darkness and fun stuff like that. Warrior was probably #1 because of the Armor Warrior, Justicar, because of obviously this deck, other just fun decks that you can do with it. So Warlock and Warrior are up at the top. Probably Mage is after that. I think some of the Druid is maybe middle of the road. Some of the least played would be like Shaman and Rogue. Hunter is probably in the middle pack too. Paladin, Paladin, Rogue, and Shaman are probably the least played. And obviously Demon Hunter, but it hasn't been out that long, so it's not really fair to say that. But that I've almost not played at all, I would say.
Choose soon.
How come it said I didn't have this, but I'm using it? Like it said I didn't have the gold portrait. I still need to get more wins. Or maybe, oh, I think if you get 1,000, you get that the other one. That's like the old god, corrupted Garrosh. 500 is the gold one. But of course, it's like I've won well over 1,000 games, but that mechanic didn't exist at that time, right? I don't think it counts. It couldn't. And I had other accounts too. You're gonna ban me now. You can't have multiple accounts, even though you can't even trade cards in this game. So why would it even matter? You got a whole bunch of secrets. So I guess we could just ignore it and see what's gonna happen. So nothing that reacts to an attack. But these are Paladin. You get 3 of them? Okay. Wonder if she has the Death Knight Valera. She could have basically anything in the history of the game. The Rogue's win conditions are pretty weird sometimes. You know, just decking you out and getting you fatigue damage and stuff. She starts with 40 health, which is weird. There was a way that I was trying to give like Jiraxis more health, right? Like you give him you give him 15, but then there's a card that like sets your max health to something like 30 or 40. So if you could combine the two somehow, that'd be amazing, right? Because then you'd have like but you wouldn't think you would need that. By the time you get Jiraxis out, you should already win by that token alone. I think it'd be worth it to do kind of a pass turn and just now we can charge in with the bombs or with this too. Well, you could do that anyway though. Return it to your hand is fine. Yeah, Warlock is a class in WoW that I found to be super interesting. Even though I played a mage, mainly mage and warrior, it's like one of the more unique things. Not that it just has some damage over time, but that it committed to it, especially in the early days. You know, you have Corruption, Curse of Agony, Siphon Life, and Immolate. So like your whole game is based around damage over time stuff. There aren't too many classes in games like that. You'll have some damage over time, or you'll have like a little bit of poison, but that's like a hard commit to that concept that I like. And is like you can just literally sit there and watch your opponent die at times. Not even saying like, oh, it's overpowered. It's just like it's cool. It feels very unique. So by that token, I would say it's probably the best class from the game. Just because it doesn't have any equal. There's nothing to compare it to. I cannot think in all the RPGs and stuff I've played of anything that really does it quite as well as that. Just with the concept of damage over time stuff. Having that many abilities, that strong, that focused on it. And if you look at, you know, a lot of games leave that part out. Like Dark Souls, what is really the damage over time build? You can do like Dung Pies, you can do Poison, sure. Skyrim doesn't have like a great damage over time. There just aren't even spells, right? In a game as expansive as Skyrim, you would think there must be a way to build like that. But aside from Poison, I don't think I ever came across a spell that really cares about doing damage over time. It's just like not something that developers even think about. You can do this. Now everything's going to have Rush, but it doesn't really matter, does it? There was some amazing game that I had once where I kept countering Frostlich Jaina with the charge. Like with the Iron Juggernaut, I would kill it and then flip it back, kill it and then flip it back. So my Juggernaut was staying alive because it has 5 HP and taking out the elementals, and I eventually won a game that I thought I had no chance of winning, because it's like, how do you deal with the 3/6 with a deck like this? And you really can't. But that was like the perfect synergistic way to rush and flip and get the +10 damage. That was one of the best Hearthstone games ever, but I wish I had it on video. Again, just some random bumfuck game in Wild, but those can be the most fun. Just because it felt like such an uphill battle, but that was like the only way, and the values match out perfectly, right? Because the Iron Juggernaut has enough health to survive the hit from the Water Elemental, and it does just enough damage, 6, to be able to kill it in one shot. And the fact that it freezes doesn't even matter, because that it freezes you, because you can just flip it back and do it again. Just don't let it die is kind of the thing. You could do this. See, now here's where I might get passive and stop doing anything. Although only for one turn, because I could do the crazy charge. So what does she have to really wipe the board? It could be the thing that returns everything to your hand, like the Vanish. Or... yeah, that's really the only thing I can think of that would deal with that many mechs. So let's see some crazy combo out of you or something that's... it's better as like a reactive last resort, you know? Where they have a full board and it's like there's no way you can possibly win, and then you summon like 6 things with rush and just attack, and you get minions back too. So doing it now is kind of a weak thing, but not really, because even if, well, Vanish is kind of annoying, but no, you get to have a death rattle on each of them too. So it's a charge, or I mean it's a rush, it's a full board of minions, but they also are sticky minions that even if you kill them, you get another thing back. So just look at this play for a second. Oh, the bombs kind of cucked me. I forgot about that. You have to be a little bit careful, because ordinarily it could just be 6/4, 4/3, 6/4, 4/3, and also 7/5/9. Right? I think that's the stat. Or no, it's a 7. I don't know what it is. The legendary mech that works like a shredder. Sneed's old shredder. I forget what the stat. I think it's a 5/9 for 7, or no. What is it? Let's see what she's got. I'll try to start a little bit earlier tomorrow and actually figure out what I want to do for the next series. Oh, is this like the new background too? It must be, right? I don't know what this thing is. Almost roping. I should be in a generally good spot, but I don't know what the point of her deck really is to do. That 5/5 could really screw you over. That kind of removes everything that didn't start in your deck, which is pretty much everything now. Oh, you know what you could do in this case is actually do the N'Zoth play again. Not right away, but just, you know, that's another good use of it. Okay, that didn't really matter. But now even if she was to clear my board, and I guess you say he or she based on their class or their character, not who the player actually is. But even earlier? Well, this is kind of late for me. This is normally like when I end the stream. Like it's 9 o'clock for me now at night. So yeah, even if you clear my board, I get to do it again, which is just amazing. The only misconception was the 1/1s, which you can't really control that, or you could just not play that yet. But I felt like I kind of had to. This is just such a fun deck. This is one of my favorite decks ever in any game. Just the concept, like I didn't even get to do the concept this game, but just flipping that back and doing this unmitigatable damage in your deck. It's so good. Or it's so interesting. It's actually not that good at all, really, if you actually think about it. So I don't even feel the need to... We have the charge out of it too. It's almost like I want them to die just to show off the the death rattle effect. I don't know if it does like random ones or the most recent ones that died or in the order that they died. I don't actually know how it determines it when there's that many things that have died that have death rattle. Oh, whoops, I clicked off and I didn't mean to. Add 2 random spells from, oh my god, all the cycling stuff. But she's definitely dead. I want to see her clear my board completely. And Reno Jackson and do other stuff just so I can do the N'Zoth again. And then I can clone him again if you don't kill him that turn. That's the beauty of it. You're meant to use these on Iron Juggernaut, but what if you use them here? That's where you have to be flexible with your deck concept, is that in this game it was different. Let me see, did they add any new heroes? I think they said they added a Demon Hunter hero. Card. Play 3 games, yeah. Let's look for what that might be. Demon Hunter. How would you even... Oh, just like this? How do you even look for like a hero card? Would that work if you... Oh, that just says hero in it. I guess you could just look for legendary. Like, how many legendaries could there be? It's just such a fun concept, but sometimes they're just too strong. That can be the problem with that. It would be considered a legendary, so where's... Oh, I'm only looking... Well, that's kind of what I want to do. Kel'thuzad the Inevitable. How many versions of Kel'thuzad are you going to get? Resurrect your volatile skeletons. Any that can't fit instantly explode. But explode and do what? Do damage? Do what? Wait, why are there no hero cards? Did they just give up on that concept? What is this? What is that tab even? It's not even working. What is that? Oh, I'm looking up legendary too. It's not just a category. Oh, the coin. I forgot this was even a thing you could customize. How do you even get these? Oh, owning 136 Rise of Shadow cards. I do like this weird layer of customization. It's like customizing your pieces in chess or something. Just a cosmetic feel to a game that you're going to be playing over and over and over. It doesn't affect the game at all. So this is just for completing the sets, I guess. I thought the life insurance would pay out more. Per skeleton. Keep an eye on your money at the fair, they said. Earnable after purchasing the Madness of the Dark Moon Fair. Yeah, there is some mysterious undertone to the Dark Moon Fair where, like, they say nobody really knows. It's like that gnome who's in charge of it. Nobody knows really what he's up to or where he comes from, or... So it almost implies like some sort of old god connection, or he's just up to something nefarious. Look at all these I don't have. Holy shit. There's got to be somebody who has every single one. You would think I would have gone out of my way to do that, but I obviously didn't. Maybe I have different accounts that have collectively all of them between them. That is kind of sad, actually. Like, imagine how much that would sell for. That is actually a good value proposition. A Hearthstone account that has every card in existence, that has every gold, every rare, every card back, every coin. Because some of these, every hero, some of these you can't even get anymore. Because they're like, you know, limited time events and stuff. Right? Like, well, some of these you have to pay real money for anyway. But imagine how much an account like that would sell for. Probably a lot. Because some of the stuff, like I said, you just can't get anymore. How are there 20? Wait, what? What? I don't remember there being this many. What the fuck did they do? This is a new class, too, that they added. I mean, not new, but... Whoa, I thought there were only, like, 5 or 6 for each. What happened to this game? Did they go down, like, the total degenerates? Wait a second. A lot of them are just the same people over and over again, too. Garrosh again. What the fuck? I mean, it's always a net positive, just like you don't have to do it. You don't have to buy it. Yeah, there's like my one microtransaction that I did, right? Because you did have to buy that. Warlock. Which one do I even have? What's the second one here? Anduin. I don't think
Let you down.
I don't think I bought this. So like, how did you get it?
The
Oh no,
goddess calls.
it's this one. That's the new one. Unlike some people, this leader didn't fall asleep on the job. We're looking at you, Malfurion. Okay, dude. Rogue, Valera, and Maev. Yeah, how did I get some of these? Because I don't think I bought any besides Magni. So maybe they gave them for some other reason. I can't believe they have this many, though. That actually makes them look a little bit bad, even though I kind of like it. It's just... kel'thuzad. The one I really wanted that I missed was N'Zoth for the Warlock. Right, that is a really cool one to have. Fuck.
I can save you from what is to come.
When someone asks if you're old god, oh, Ghostbusters reference, it doesn't even tell you how you got it.
My benefactor says I have a bright future
Yeah,
ahead of me.
earnable after something, earnable, literally, it just teases you because it doesn't even say. It was some special event that you obviously can't do anymore. Well, I guess that arena didn't go as well as I thought. I could always do it. Yeah, 12, no shit. Yeah, actually, I had other accounts, though. There's no way. This was like over 2,000 easily. This is not my entire experience with the game at all. Not even close. That actually seems really underwhelming. 800. That's nothing. Demon Hunter. Well, how am I not even like level 60 on some of these? For the amount, but that shows you Warrior and Warlock. But no, yeah, this was not even my main account. Where's Mage? Oh, here, 40. Yeah, fucking right, dude. That is kind of the dumb thing about making multiple accounts for a game like this. It's just gonna split your collection and stuff and ruin stuff. You probably shouldn't do it. Oh, this is the Van Cleef card back that I have still. What is like my favorite card back that I actually have? I have a couple pages worth. It's just kind of like disappointing that I fell out of the loop so much. Yeah, I'm complaining about not having enough, but like how many pages actually are there? I have 5.5 out of... Holy shit, 27. And yet some of these are again very time sensitive. You had to get it in 2015 or you had to do this or that. So this is a cool one. This is obviously original, Fireside, Sideshow Glow. I don't remember even getting that. On Madness of the Dark Moon Fair Reward Track. This one's not that good. Submarine is actually pretty cool. Again, I don't remember how to get that. I feel like I didn't even do some of this stuff. Tyrande is pretty cool too. Magnes is good. Maybe I did buy those. I think you have to. Where's the Heroic Nax card back? Probably on my other account that I don't have anymore. Wailing Caverns. It's gonna take a whole lot. This doesn't even make me think of the Wailing Caverns. What is that? Cobalt Vault. This is pretty cool. Some of these are nice. Playing Coy. Something to do with Mist of Pandaria. Dark Moon Fair. It's not as ominous as it should be. Year of the Mammoth. Sparkles. Frostfire. Catacomber. Gone Fishing. Unholy Night. Frost Knight. Oh yeah, because I got to Legend, not Legend 1, but like in the Legend bracket ones. So you get one for that too that I don't have on here. Frost Knight, Blood Knight, Hurt S'mores. Right? I think there must be a Legend card back. Acquired from achieving legend rank in ranked play. Oh, that's kind of lame. That I imagine how annoying it'd be to get that now. 'Cause I don't even have half the cards and stuff. I think I only did it one season where I got in there. And it was like the Armor Warrior one, like with Justicar and stuff. It took forever too. I mean, I guess it can only take a month because then it resets. Golden Sky. Oh, why am I looking at these? I just want to look for one to switch it to. Okay, where did I make it? Frost Knight. Acquired from achieving rank 20 in ranked play. Oh yeah, you have to do that like every season. Thrall, Love is in the Air. Hogger. Explorer's Map is okay. Exodar, Ninjas, Cupcake, Pandaria. Pristine Scenes. Logging in on an iOS device, really. It's even brighter than Malto's Glorious Beard. I don't know who that is. Legion Schemes. That one's pretty sick. Machine Dreams, Year of the Dragon. Winter Veil Wreath. Mark of Hakar. Let's actually do this one. Acquired by logging in on an Android device. Mobile gamer. Oh, it is pretty cool. Should be easier to get now? I don't know about that. I mean, it's just so bloated and... Oh, maybe there's less people playing now. So I forget how the ranking system even works now. Bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, legend. I would actually like to get that again. It's kind of lame just not having it. I never even really used it though. It's just cool to have. Yeah, because this doesn't reflect anything. This is definitely nothing. How can you play the game for like 2,000 hours and only have 1,000 wins? That would mean that each game is taking you like an hour. You don't even need... Oh yeah, you can get legend in other categories. That's true. Like I could get it in wild even. That's what I should try to do. But then you'd have to use some degenerate deck or something. Right, it doesn't specifically say in what mode. In ranked play. 3 chicken. Okay, let me do one more. Final showdown with this. I'll do it with this deck too. I bet I could if I alter it a lot over time. Like I'll see what I'm losing to. And it'll still keep the same essence, but it'll obviously have to have other busted cards. Do an angry chicken deck.
Garrosh versus Jaina.
Yeah, I should have just done it with Pirate Warrior. That one was super easy to rank up with. Like I got from, just to compare the time, like playing a control deck, it took me like a few days to get from rank 20 to rank 1. But then with the fucking Pirate Warrior, it took me like a few hours to get from rank 20 to rank 5 to 1. That's how simple it was. That's the whole shame of it. And that could be true of a lot of aggro decks and stuff. Deal 2 damage to a random thing, so she might be running like the kel'thuzad thing, or she might not be running anything because she's just a rank 10 chicken. So this is a different ranking system than what I was used to then. Although I have played it many times with this still, it's just like I haven't really cared about it. So basically you want to you could coin into that, or you could draw 2 cards. Oh, you don't have the coin though. Alright, so we get a very essential piece there.
My thanks.
That doesn't even really make sense. Opponent doesn't even have a name. Oh yeah, I have that thing on so people can't see anybody's stuff. It's like streamer mode or something. Does it even say that here? I forget where you even put that on, but... 4... Yeah, I'm tempted to do like a hardcore wild run. Just try to get up as high as I can with this and other decks. Getting to legend rank with a theme deck. Imagine that. And the theme isn't about min-max metagaming, it's about just actual something fun or cool, like the anti-spell stuff. Okay, so you just want to do this, kill both of these. What is this death rattle effect? Draw a dragon, which I don't have in this deck. It should still show you your opponent's name. It wouldn't matter what my name is. I can say it's not my channel's name because I've had this for a while. So this has been a busy week. That's why I've been doing so much of this card games and other stuff that I don't normally do. Because it's a better way to fill the time when you have less time. I don't want to do a hard mode when I only have like a few hours. You can't really get into it. 5, 6. You'd obviously kill one of these. Battle cry, battle cry. Doesn't really matter. You should look at the type too. Like maybe elemental could be more valuable than whatever that was. Which I don't think wasn't. Oh, Naga is actually a type. Yeah, I don't think it was before. There were Naga in the game, but it never acknowledged them as a race. I don't think. It must have some relevance now. You know, like how they do Murloc or Beast or whatever. There weren't enough Naga to even justify doing that. In fact, that definitely wasn't the case because there was always that 4/5 that heals everything for like 2. Right, the 4/5 for 5. And that was never considered a Naga.
My magic will tear you apart.
So what does that do?
Amazing.
After you play the left or right, draw a card. So you could draw 3 cards. I don't know if that was really even the best play, but in fact it was probably pretty bad. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy. So you can cycle that as much as you want, but at some point you could flip this back too and just keep getting more armor, but she would have to have more minions for that to even work. Deal 2 damage. It's just so repetitive and time consuming. That's what can be annoying about it.
Beyond your comprehension.
To sort of rank up. But that's what I like to do, is identify what is it that's causing me to lose, and then I'll just make alterations based on that. Because I know this deck has a lot of flaws to it. It is not that good. But it would mean more to do it with this than with some other bullshit. You could just net deck and just look up whatever is considered good. So is it worth it to do this now, or should I flip this and... It's not really worth even worrying about this, I don't think. But she can certainly kill it. The problem is, I'm not really going to get that back, but I do get the 7 armor now. So what you want to do is just start using the charges to your advantage. I can do the Iron Juggernaut and flip it, but actually I can't do that. I'd rather do this and then flip it, but I don't know how much stuff I'm going to get out of it. And of course this guy doesn't count as a mech, even though he looks like one. So he doesn't get the charge. Doesn't that seem stupid? This should be considered a mech. It might be too powerful then because of the... I think Dr. Boom is considered a mech. But the bombs obviously are. So they must have done that specifically to counter the sort of synergy that you get here.
Pick me! Pick me!
Cast Ice Barrier. Not much of a secret there. You kind of gave it away. You can do your little warpath here. That Kobold would have been really good though. So you can still do the armor. Probably is more valuable than anything else. Because now you're not going to get a chance. I forget if they can repeat like back-to-back moves. Like the same one. But it doesn't seem like it's always in a fixed order. It can be, amazing. But maybe it is. So you can summon something here and get some good value from that. But the problem is I have almost too many cards. So you could just do this and or do this and flip it back. The problem with flipping it back is it leaves your board pretty barren. Deal 3 damage, infuse, but she's already using new cards. Deal 3 damage, add a frozen. Wait. You can just do that endlessly then? Your next hero power costs 0 and freezes the target.
A smidge of this, a pinch of that.
Discover spell if your opponent guesses your choice and get a copy. What do you mean? I didn't even get to guess. What?
My magic
What happened there?
you apart.
Whoa, now it does. Your hero power deals 1 more damage. Well, shouldn't that be obvious then? But
Yes, that's the one.
of course fuck. Oh, you should have. It doesn't do damage in the first place, so it doesn't matter.
Amazing.
Screwed myself out of a draw. Double the damage and healing. Now, armor doesn't count as healing, so it's not really worth it. You could just do this, and then hopefully we get a couple bombs. I forget how many I actually have. And I guess I have 0, so that was a mistake. I just should have cleared the board a bit, because I'm getting a little low on health. And there is no healing in this deck, which is a big flaw. Besides the armor that you can get from the dry whisker flip, or the initial play where you get 2 for every enemy minion. And then also, obviously, the hero power. So it's 2, 3, 4, or actually 5. So I think I'm just dead, but she doesn't know that, so maybe we can take advantage a little bit. So can we summon 2 mechs that can help me clear the board? And the answer is yes. Oh, it does actually apply in this case.
Amazing.
Oh, it can't even attack though. So we know it's ice barrier, so there's no surprise there. Could we still pull it out, or she has that frozen touch combo that just like every time you play it, it just comes back to the hand, so you can just play it again? Is it really that type of card? Because it feels like that's what she could. Draw your highest cost minion, summon 2 something something.
Who here can spell?
Add a 1/1.
Anybody?
I have a pretty good board, but he's just kind of stalling me out. You can't really let your health get this low.
Pick me.
Do I have another dry whisker? I tend to forget. It would be really good here.
You apart.
Or I could have copied it, but now it's too late. I don't have any taunts and I don't have any defensive stuff, so you kind of just have to deal with it. I guess I'll do this, something a bit sticky. You can hit it like there, hit it like this, hit it like that. So now you're down to 5 damage out of 16. But then you also have the 2 hero power, so it's 7. So you can get me to actually 9, just with what's on your board. Which I consider the hero power part of the board, obviously. That we can actually see. I think I can still win this. I don't know if she can just do that frost touch again. Like, it infuses and then it comes back. So then does it come back again? How would they stop it from looping like that? Freeze a minion, summon a 2/2. So they have some big obsession with these stupid skeletons. This whole expansion. They don't really seem that good, but... I don't know what this relic stuff is about. Deal 3 damage, add a frozen touch. Oh, not this again, dude. And of course, these could hit my face too. So it's hard to say whether that's going to actually matter.
My magic will tear you apart.
I hate these games where you're just on low health so much. Because you can't do anything about it. It takes up a minion slot at least, but... You could discover a mech, or you could just... Shut up. She doesn't know that she's won yet. You could hit this and then it'll do 2 more. 8, double the attack and health. I mean, I could flip it back and I could play it, but actually, just for the fun of it.
Drink with me, friend.
Right, it only costs...
Amazing.
Oh no, it costs 10, never mind. Do the Iron Juggernaut just as like a dead play. Oh, I misunderstood what happened there. If you control a mech, discover another mech. Summon 2 random mechs that cost 3 or less. There's some good synergy with that stuff, but it's just too late. I get the armor again, which means it's definitely not in order, right? Because I just got it the turn before. Resurrect your skeletons. Any that can't fit on the battlefield explode. So, okay, I guess we understand what that does now. Okay, and we should have known she had the frozen touch. You got to keep track of things a little bit better, like the number of bombs I would have spawned from the 7/7 guy, I suppose. $470 gold. I don't even know what to do with. So yeah, what is something that's like return to the hand? If you look at crafting, this should include everything. So it would have to either be a warrior card or... Imagine that. In the whole history of Hearthstone, there's only one warrior card that mentions returning something to the hand, and it's a weapon. Return this to your hand. Return this. You want to return something else. Return one of your destroyed weapons. But there's actually not a whole lot that would synergize with that. I'm trying to think of what else. Something to do with like increase the number of battle cries or double. I think that's like a rogue thing though, right? Where it does a battle cry. Oh, you could do like Bran, right? Where he battle cries trigger twice. I never thought about that with this one, but what if you just say you want to do the same thing, but then you can get 2 for 1, but the problem with that is you won't be able to Bran Jug, we'll call it. Maybe that could work, but the problem with that is, I guess you could throw in like Thracian and do some crazy combo. Like Iron Juggernaut, no, Bran, Iron Juggernaut, and then still flip it. So you just get 2 for 1 value, but that's kind of too much commitment for something that you would do anyway. All you'd have to do is flip it and replay it and flip it and replay it like we do. You wouldn't have to commit to doing this. Unless I can think of another battle cry. Oh, I guess it would be good for any of the battle cries, really, but like a 5 damage bomb or this or that. Let me just look up like bomb in general. So it just has to be warrior or anybody. Whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 1/1 boom bot. That's not really relevant to what I'm trying to do, though. It's got to be something that goes into their deck. Deal 4, deal 5, deal whatever. There's really not a whole lot, huh? I guess I'm still using the quote-unquote best version of this specific deck that we're going for. At least as far as I can think of. It would have to be something that affects Battlecry. The problem is if I look up Battlecry, it'll show me every Battlecry card in the game, not just ones that affect the Battlecry. Or you could do like your Battlecry, or triggers, or just whatever. That's way too broad. It would have to be something I don't have, first of all. This is gonna be way too many for this. What other like warrior legendaries even are there that I don't have? Quite a few, but none of these I really care about. Draw pirate, sulphurous. Whenever your hero would take damage, take 1 durability. That's kind of stupid. Lord Barav. Set the health of other minions to 1. Rush. Kargoth Prime. Whenever this attacks and kills a minion, gain 10 armor. That's okay, I guess, but you just get 1 tick of your hero power, and that's 7 right there. Copy all dragons. None of these seem to have anything to do with what I'm trying to do. Give your weapon +1/+1. Give weapons +1. Mech Dragon Pirate. Ringmaster Watley. I don't know who some of these characters even are. Some of them are just made up genuinely in terms of the universe, but some of them are like, you know, ones that I just don't know because they came out after Wrath of the Lich King. Armadillo. At the end of this reminds me of that thing from Donkey Kong 64, right? The first boss with the shit on his back. I forget what his name is. He's like an armadillo that shoots shit at you in the exact same way, and he hides under his thing and he rolls around, and you fight him like twice. Once in like the crystal caves too. If you have gained 15 or more armor, gain +3/+3 in charge. Not going to really be stacking armor here. Gain +1/+1 for each damage minion, and then attack all enemies. Gain 8 armor, equip a 2/5 spike. That one's trash. For some reason, I don't think of this as a warrior card, and that's because it's not, right? It's like a both a warrior card and something else. I forgot about that, where some are shared between classes. At the end of your turn, attack a random enemy. Equip a random weapon. Colossal +1. What even is Colossal? Not to be mistaken for a freshwater cousin, Nessie. Discover 3 pirates. Nobody cares about that. Resurrect 2 frenzy minions. Rush after this attacks. Equip it. Oh, that's a pretty cool idea for a card. Huh. Living Blade. Huh, I like that. Equip a 5/2 Unstoppable Force. This is actually a legendary card. Rokara the Valorous. Deal 2 damage. Gain 4 armor. For an honorable kill, which means it's an exact kill, I think. I guess that's okay, but again, it has nothing to do with what I'm doing here. Like, cards like this are kind of hard to figure out because that seems so broad. Like, it could be good in so many decks, right? Some cards are just ancillary and some are transformative. So this is ancillary in the sense that you could just have a deck that has nothing to do with this, that doesn't build around this, but it's just good. You get a 5/2 weapon, you get 10 armor, you get 2 damage, you get 4 armor for, like, you're not basing your deck around it. Whereas something like the mech guy I have, or whatever, the other Garrosh Death Knight, you might actually build around the whirlwind effect. You might build around the, obviously, the ability of rush. So this is kind of a weird one, but it doesn't seem bad. Attack all other minions. How many legendaries are there? We know what that is. We know what that is. We know what that is. You know what that is. This was actually the worst one in terms of its ability, but that doesn't mean the warriors were bad. It's just the hero power is underwhelming. You have to go out of your way to make it useful, whereas like Jaina's is just amazing. You get lifesteal, and you get a 3/6, and all you have to do is ping, and all you have to do is kill something. So unless they prevent you from killing stuff, but then that means they're just not playing anything, so they're playing that hard around just your hero power. So then if you just play normal plays, like summon a minion, oh, they can't summon one themselves, otherwise you might get the 3/6, but then even if they don't summon stuff, you could still do it to your own thing, probably. Right? They'll trade into something and then still have 1 HP left and do it. After your hero attacks, recruit a minion. Destroy all damage. Yeah, we know that. Resummon this with -1/-1. He looks bad now, but he was pretty handsome in his 2020s. So the idea could just be that it keeps doing that forever. Is that actually how it works? Like, even when you... Oh, shit. Even when you kill it, it becomes a 8/8, but then you kill it again, it becomes a 7/7? Or is it only a one-time effect? You would think it would just keep going, which is... Imagine that in Arena, then. You'd have to silence it, otherwise this would be the most busted Arena card ever. Right? Because you summon a 9/9 for 9, they kill it. You get an 8/8 for 8, but you don't even have to play it. I can see that being insane. Summon 3 random minions from your hand, give them rush. Summon a copy of... Okay, nothing here really has to do with what I was trying to do. Okay, that's good.